All right, so thanks for coming. Hey, you're out in space. That's usually where I am. To Earth to organize this thing today.
Yeah.
So maybe I can do a quick introduction. They're just doing the first parts of the icebreakers. And
Okay.
guys, we have Martin here, and is such an amazing guy. And the one thing that I remember the most about him is that he's so good that he's called Martin twice. He showed me his passport, and he tried to change his name, and some bureaucrat refused to do that. And it's like, yeah, but he can add another name. So he's literally Martin, which is an amazing story. So maybe you can talk about that, because this is somehow the wisdom of learning of how to work around governments and institutions. But I met Martin in so many different places. I think the Kindernet is where we had the longest chat. But he is working with SAP, which is the third largest software company in the world, if I'm not mistaken, these days. I think probably the biggest in the business space. And I don't know how you define yourself. I know you're a very innovative person, knowing you as well as I do from those different events, but also because you're always speaking in different locations. So for SAP, you're officially a futurist, or what is your title? And tell us a bit more about what made you wiser in the past.
Yeah, no, thanks for the introduction, Marcelo. Funny that you remembered. It happens, I have it here. You won't see this with the background. Wait, can I turn that off? No background. Here we go. Here's my living room. So now it's broken. It actually says Martin. There. You can almost see that. It was, and I think it's a good story because, funny you would say that, especially in this context, when you are not sure what's right and what's wrong, and there's someone that tells you, hey, I'm the authority, I know how to do it, and you're just a kid coming in here. I was 18, so I was quite old by that time, and I was thinking, oh, I cannot change my name, but that was the whole point. I'm here to change my name, and you are the change name office people. So what's wrong? And she said, no. I think she had a bad day, so I actually need to excuse her as well. I mean, we all can have bad days, but she didn't allow me. But she allowed me to add a name, as exactly as you said. So I did, and then I added Martin because I already was named Marcin in Polish. I wanted the international name, which is Martin, because I was born in Poland, and my last name is quite hard to pronounce. It's Wezowski. Forget it. So I wanted at least my first name to be kind of more normal, which is, in the teenage way, it's a nice to be at least, not the guy with the strange name. So that's the story behind it. But yes, I can continue on that because, I was only 14 years old, like many of you, when I moved to Sweden from Poland. So I was born in Poland a long time ago, 1970. And then when I was 14, my parents found a way to sort of move to Sweden. And I'm saying that because it wasn't clear that you could move back then. There was a regime in Poland. It was a government that didn't allow people to move. Which was not very nice. And my parents didn't like it because they were thinking, in the future, our kids maybe want a different life where you can have a little bit more of a self-expression and be more free. So they said, let's find a way. So they did. So I'm arriving in Sweden as a 14 years old. Everything is different. I'm telling you, I was a little bit of a shock. I remember always thinking, oh, this exists. You can have this kind of clothes. You can express yourself in this kind of way. Oh, you can say these things to grown-ups, to your friends, and you can be honest. You can have a freedom, and you can express what you feel and who you are. And I didn't know that. I seriously didn't know that you can, because we have different radio, TV, different kind of media you consume every day. Yeah? different kind of newspapers that were very, very limited. And all of a sudden we had everything, like we have today on the internet. You can see everything on the internet. And that was a shock for me. And that made me realize one thing. And I only sort of heard a story about this when I was grown up, many, many years later. And it's a very simple story. I think maybe some of you have heard it. It's about this fish that was swimming in the river. There was another fish friend came along and said, hey, how are you doing? And the fish says, yeah, I'm okay. How are you doing? And the other fish said, hey, I'm good. Hey, how is water today? You know, they're swimming in water. Like basically, how is the weather? How is the water? And the other fish turns around, huh? What is water? And then I was thinking, what's special with this story? And then until someone had to explain to me, look, fish spend all their life in water, so they don't think about that they are there. It's like we don't think about air that we breathe all the time until someone says, that's that. Oh, this exists. We need to think about that. When I was in Poland, I was in a different kind of water, if you wish, different kind of environment, different friends, and someone put me in a different water. And all of a sudden it became apparent to me that, this exists, you can do it like this. And for me, that was like this fish story. Oh, what is water? I was a fish that was not aware that water existed because I took it for given, granted, if you wish. And then I started to get some friends. It took a while. It took a long time. It took a full year for me to get like real friends because I didn't speak the language and my dialect was strange in Swedish, and I didn't speak English back then. And many Swedes do speak English because they learn in school, and so on. So it took me a year. But then I got a friend called Max, and he said, Martin, you seem different. Okay. I was thinking, I don't know if it's good or bad if I'm different. Because I was different. I mean, I was from Poland, I had a strange name, and everything for me was, like this, like. And for the normal guys there, normal people, it was like normal. It was the normal water. For me, it was news. I was always looking around. I said, hey, you're different. I want you to play in my band. I have a band. We play music. And I still play music, by the way. I have a guitar here. I'm 50 years old now. I'm still, and I was 14 back then. So I tell you, this is a story that's stuck with me. He said, I have a punk rock band. I said, punk rock, what is that? It's a rebel music. We're going to change the world, Martin. I said, I don't know about that. We are 14 years old. We're not going to change anything. So I was thinking, okay, but I hang out with this guy. He said, I want you to play guitar. I said, look, I'm not the creative kind. I don't know how to play the guitar. So, okay, good. Come with me. And he had a guitar. So he put a guitar in my lap, a Cirrus, like this. And he said, you put your first finger there and your second finger there. And then you play only on the two top strings. Don't play the other ones because it sounds like crap, yeah, to be honest. Okay, that was cool. Now move your hand that way. Okay, move your hand towards your body. Okay, you're in the band, he said. I said, what is this about? This is not, I just cheated. Yeah, that's the whole idea. You now play the 3 chords, and that's the minimum to play in a band. And I said, this is crazy. And don't touch the other strings. It's too hard. Okay, so we had a punk rock band all of a sudden. I was the guitar player, seriously. But you know, he gave me such a confidence. I was 14, he was 15. Only, you know, he was the same age, but he was so nice. He was so nice to me to show me this cheat, like you have cheats in games, and you show, hey, if you do this and this, you can jump much faster. Whatever, cheats. You show each other. Yeah, you should help each other. He helped me with that, and gave me such a. And all of a sudden, I felt, oh, maybe I am creative. Maybe I am a guitar player, and this is only in your head. So I actually started to take his guitar and I stretched my fingers like this. Oh, maybe I can actually touch the other strings. And I tried my hand as far as possible like this. And it sounded terrible. And I said, Max, is this a guitar chord? Because I had the confidence to ask. And he, and he looks at me, well, now it is. Which means that somehow, of course, it's not a guitar chord. It sounds terrible if you wish, but he gave me the confidence again. Well, you just play it, so it must exist now, right? Basically, it's up to you if this is a guitar chord. Basically, it's up to you. Does it sound good? Do you like it? Does it make sense with the other chords? Does it make sense in our band? It's up to you. Who am I to tell you what's crap or what's not crap? We're playing punk rock here, man. So you know, you decide. And of course, I decided it was not a good chord to use in the band because it actually was terrible. But he gave me the power to decide. Yeah. So all of a sudden, I was a creative kind. And well, interrupt me if I'm talking, because once you get me talking, Marcelo, you know, you may be the band leader here. I don't know, or you other guys. And so with that in the background, I started to play music, and all of a sudden, I thought I really knew what I will do in the future. I want to be a rock star. So rock music was my favorite. Back then, I also listened to some other electronic bands and so on, like Kraftwerk, very old band, and Depeche Mode. You probably never heard of them, maybe not. Anyway, so I wanted to be a rock star. But the more I played, and I realized that it's, you know, rock star, what is that? What does it mean even? Is this an occupation? We get some tiny little money for playing in the local area. We played in pubs, or in the school, we play in the school. They didn't pay us anything. So I was thinking, well, being a rock star, like the people on TV or today on internet, we are not there. But I realized I got better and better in playing guitar. So I thought, hey, maybe rock star is not the thing. So some years later, I was thinking, I'm going to be a rock musician. I'm going to be a musician instead. The rock star is just a fake thing. Like, you actually never are a rock star. Basically, it's a musician that becomes famous or something like this. So I became a musician. And then I realized, wait, I'm good in making some songs. I made some songs that we played in our band. So I was like, there are so much better musicians than me, like classic pianists and all these people. They are so good. I will never be that good. But I can be a songwriter because I write songs that I like and the people around me like. So I did that. And then I realized, there are so better songwriters than me. But I am, at least in the music business. I can make some little money here and there and there. I maybe can be a promoter of music. I can take care of artists, or somehow I love the music. I realized I really love music. It took me some years. That's my passion. And that's what but this steps from being a rock star to songwriting to musician, whatever I wanted to, was kind of a journey that I didn't see. When I was on that journey, I actually didn't see that. I was just a little bit disappointed that I didn't become a famous rock star. Like, well, you see, I have a long hair. I want to be this cool guy and the rebel and so on. I was a little bit disappointed, but now afterwards I see, wait, I'm not disappointed at all. I'm super happy, because this idea of being, Max showed me this chord, and all of a sudden I was a guitar player, which was total cheat, I tell you, to being a rock star and not being in the songwriter. All of a sudden it realized me that the realization for me was, I am creative because I just made a song. I made people happy. I started to, for example, be in the creative business, not the music business only, but broader. So I started to photograph. And now we can do amazing stuff with the phone, with our Android or iPhone, right? We can be all creative. I started to make design because our band needed a T-shirt with a cool logotype for the band and cool picture. So I made t-shirts. I made like a poster you can hang up on this in the city, like, hey, we are playing in this and this school. Someone had to make the poster. So I learned how to make a poster, and also how to later put it on internet. Yeah, hey, we're playing, how to do it on Facebook today, or TikTok or whatever. I learned all these tricks because I got this confidence that I can do it. I can play guitar, then I can do anything, because I can sort of cheat my way into anything. Just show me how it works and I will fix it. And that was for me a big revelation, that I went to design, and then to actually a big company called me and said, hey, we've seen how I became a teacher in design, and I was teaching design to grown-ups, like big firms. And Sony, you probably know about Sony Corporation, this Japanese firm, of course, yeah. And they were my pupils. And I was like, this is crazy. I'm teaching Sony how to design. This is crazy. I hope nobody finds out that I actually am not a real designer, exactly the same way as was not a real guitar player, but I was. And they asked me, do you want to work with us? Because you're teaching us. And so I became a designer at Sony. It was crazy, crazy. We designed mobile phones and stuff. And then after that, I realized, wait a second, all these mobile phones will be designed in the future, right? Because we're designing them now, and then it takes some time to engineer and make them, and then we release them in half year from now, maybe 1 year from now. I realized that this is not only design, it's what we call it's strategic, it's strategy, how to do stuff in the future. And from that, I realized, wait, I love the future. And I love science fiction, as you saw. Well, let's go back to science fiction. Here we go. I'm in space. And I realized that I love space. I want to be an astronaut. And I realized that future and all these science fiction movies and stories, I like them a lot. I love them. They inspired me. And they told me things that are impossible, like playing guitar. So I started to connect all these things. And in the end, it became something you could call a futurist. So that's a person that loves the future and talks about the future and creates a future. And I think, and again, I didn't know what that was. It was like being a rock musician first, and then becoming in the rock business or music business, or then creative business. I realized later that everybody is a futurist. You guys are futurists, because you will live in the future, and whatever you talk about, like today in the icebreaker, or whatever you do and tell each other, is creating an idea about something that will happen in the future. You have wishes about what to do next weekend with your friends. That's in the future. So you are a futurist. And you say, oh, maybe 20 years from now, this and this will be possible. We will have a technology or something that will give us this and this. And you have this imagination and curiosity. I know that you do, because, well, I just know, because I am also a human being. So I have imagination and curiosity. And I think everything is possible. And the future belongs to sort of us. We can decide. And by the way, the future is not one future. There are many futures. We just choose one to go with. This is the future we choose. And that was another, like, oh man, I never thought about that I can choose my own future. Or someone else would choose a future for me, and that's not so nice. So I rather choose myself. I rather be my own guitar player or songwriter or future writer, if you wish. Same thing, you know. I hope you can connect what I'm saying here, because it's all over the place. So I started to think about this very differently as a futurist, as a creative person. And I guess now I have big customers like banks and so on. So I had this lady, she was the boss for a bank. She is a boss. She was the CEO for a bank, big bank. And I'm talking about the future and how machines and humans will become one thing together, how technology and artificial intelligence will help in our lives and, you know, live an active part in our bodies, maybe even. And she said, Martin, that's super scary. I said, no, hey, that's pretty cool. I actually think it's really cool. And he said, no, you don't understand. I come from a bank, and this is for me chaos. you're describing chaos. And I'm in the business of stability. Everything should be stable and the same. I said, aha, wait a second. This lady, and she's really like a really nice lady, really clever, really smart. But I understood that she is the business of stability, not changing anything. And she thinks the opposite to stability is instability, chaos. And I said, that's not true. Opposite to stability is evolution, change, emergence. Things change all the time, and we walk along this path of change. And I told her, and then she understood and she agreed with me. And I said, it's not always so nice. Future is like an action sport, like mountain biking. Okay, I don't know if you like mountain biking. I love it. Future is like mountain biking. You see the slope, you see the track. You have your mountain bike, hopefully, and then you go down, and you know it's going to hurt a little bit. It's going to be crazy and scary, but you're going to love it. And once you're downstairs and look back, maybe you have some scrapes on your hands and on your knees because you fell down 3 or 4 times, to be honest, right? Because I'm not a good mountain biker. But you had fun and you discovered something new and you overcame this fear of not changing, being stable. You went on an adventure. For me, the future and our lives is an adventure. And I'm curious what's coming next. And this is how I think about the future. It's an action sport, it's an adventure. And we created it together. You created right now by being here and sitting and listening. You're actually creating a future. You took a decision to be here, or at least you allowed yourself to be here on this call. So that's my story about the future, I'm guessing. And I wonder to you, when you see people being scared, and some people say, for example, during the pandemic, they wear masks. Some people say, I don't need a mask because I don't know, I don't want anybody to decide on me. And we know that masks actually protect from coughing and the virus of spreading. How do we talk to people that don't see the future of them being sick, so they don't wear a mask? How can they think like that? Which is a curious thing for me. I don't know. Or another question I would like you to think about, you know, people usually think in very short steps, like, oh, next week, or I'm just going to make some money for the next month. Hey, but, or maybe they pick some habits like smoking or something like this, or they eat too much chocolate or whatever, and they know that it's not good for them 10 years from now, right? But right now it's okay. So how can we are so smart. I mean, seriously, everybody in this room is so smart. How can we then still not wear a mask, or still eat too much, or smoke like some grown-ups smoke a cigarette? Although we think, we know it's bad for us, we still do it. We do stupid things, we say stupid things, we think short term, but we know that the life is long term. And for me, it's like how do we balance that? How do some people cannot think long term, and long term is the only way to think, because that's our lives. Future is important because we will spend the rest of our lives in the future. So how can we not think about it? And that's I cannot solve it, and I would like your help to solve this. How can we be more long-term, and how can we actually be more bold and go on this adventure and this mountain bike of the future? And how can we be a little bit smarter and, for example, wear a mask because it helps, it's so clear, and not protest just because we can? These are my questions. Hey, sorry for talking for such a long time. What time is it? 10:24 here in Berlin. I mean, in Europe, Berlin, by the way. So Marcelo, what do you think? What do you say, guys? How do we do this? Help me.
The next speaker is already here, but after him we have the break. So my suggestion, so we can have a smooth transition, is that Tushar Agarwal is his name, so based in between Singapore and India. I don't know where he is right now. Maybe Tushar can ask you a question, and then we transition into his session this time.
Fantastic, thank you.
Hi, Martin. Unfortunately, because I just joined, I didn't kind of go through your entire talk, but I think maybe, one of the things that I was thinking about, and, I was not too long ago, I was a teen myself. I'm not sure why my camera is not working. Yeah. Yeah, not too long ago, I was a teen myself, and you talk about long-term thinking, and that's something I truly believe in as well, in terms of having that patience. But in terms of actual implementation, how do you kind of go about thinking and ensuring that on a day-to-day basis you don't make decisions based off the short term?
Oh, wow. That's a tough question. I like it. It's a challenging question. What I think helps is so when you think long term, which is my job, you need to think, especially, I mean, from a personal perspective, where do I want to be? What would I like to experience, say, 10 years from now? Which is a really tough question when you are, say, as I was 14 back then, yeah? And I played this guitar, I had this band. Oh, I want to be a rock star 10 years from now. And today I had other dreams. I hope that everybody becomes a future thinker, and everybody uses technology for something very good for humans, that we are less afraid. These are my dreams. So what do I do today to reach these dreams? And I think sometimes you don't think so much. You just go about your day because you're just busy. You have school, you have homework, you see your friends and your parents and everything, hopefully. And then I'm thinking the only thing that makes you take right decisions is like these values. Okay, in the future, I want people to be actually nice or kind to each other, because many people are not always kind. And many people are very kind. So how can we make more of the kind sort? Well, the first way to start is to be kind yourself. So I'm just trying to be nice. I'm not always nice, because we sometimes make mistakes, but at least that's my motto. So I'm starting with these values about what I want things to be in the future. I'm trying to be that myself, and hopefully that is a positive reaction on everybody else. So that's what I'm doing. And also I know that storytelling helps about the future. So I'm telling stories. I'm building these narratives and sharing this with as many people as possible. And also this is my job in my company. In our company, which is very big, I write strategies, future strategy. It's called strategy in business talk, and visions. I have a vision, so I translate that, and we make products that somehow point in the future direction. So yes, you can take small steps today, but you need to have this value. Who am I? You need to ask yourself where I want to be and what kind of relationships will I have in the future, and try to write that down. And that will educate you in every step you take today. I hope that's an answer, at least.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for coming, Martin. It's much appreciated.